England, Colombia, we just witnessed a very, very, how would you call it, Alexi?
A boring, non-interesting game.
I think we're going to see some changes in the second half.
I mean, look, I've been saying it the whole half. Raheem Sterling, I don't think he's an international football player, and Lingard, he's too much of a lightweight. I mean, you're playing with 9 men, basically. Harry Kane has had to come to the halfway line, even playing like a defensive midfielder at times.
Harry Kane's creating for England, or trying to create.
Well,
and he's getting no support. So I want to go to the earlier games of this round of 16, which we're trying to cover, and then we're going to be talking a little bit about the quarterfinals, post-game. So let's talk about Uruguay-Portugal. What a game that was.
That was an awesome game.
That was an amazing game. I think we saw the typical Uruguay-style game of playing hard defense, playing physical, just the same way we've seen Colombia play. And I don't think they took Portugal out of their style of game. I think Portugal had chances. They were able to create and play. And Uruguay, by the way, finally conceded a goal in this game, in this World Cup. However, 2 quick build-ups and 2 amazing goals by Cavani. One of them assisted by Suarez, a beautiful cross pitch to an open space for Cavani to header that ball in. But what are your thoughts a little bit about that game that Uruguay finally won and is into the quarterfinals?
Well, Ronaldo said that he felt Portugal played better, but I've got to disagree. That first goal for Cavani, as you said, Cavani was on the halfway line. He gave a long ball to Suarez. Suarez gave a long ball back to him, and he scored an amazing header. The defender who didn't even know there was Cavani behind him, and even though it went off his chest, the idea was there, and that was a great goal. That's a quality World Cup goal.
That's a world-class goal by a world-class athlete and striker.
Let me just tell you this. Let me tell you this statistic. Both, more or less, Cavani and Suarez score a goal every other game. So you know that you're going to have, at least one of them is going to score a game. So you have to at least score 2 goals to beat them. Now France, who's their next opponents, even though they won 4-3 the other day, aren't generally known for scoring 2 goals. Mm-hmm. They're 0-0, 1-0 type of guy. They scored 2, they won against 2-1 against Austria, I think, a couple of months back.
They scored. So Uruguay's off to the. They're off to the
races, man.
France, Argentina, 4-3. Another great game. I mean, I enjoyed that the most. I really enjoyed that game the most. You got Ronaldo that exited just hours before then, and then you saw Messi exit. 2 of the best players in the world, both exit the World Cup. France knocking off Argentina 4-3. What did Argentina not do again?
The problem with Argentina was that they hired Sampaoli to be their manager.
I was very disappointed in their coach as well.
I mean, look,
I have not been a fan of his.
I thought Mbappe's first goal was a goalkeeper error. Their number 1 goalkeeper thought he was the number 1, attacker and tried to chip a defender.
Well, that was their number 2 goalie. Don't forget, Romero got injured. That was their number 2 goalie.
And this is their number 3. Oh my God! So no wonder, because that goalie definitely looks like a 3rd-string goalie.
Yeah, but you're on a world-class stage. You're telling me Argentina doesn't have, or any nation doesn't have 2 or 3 top goalies in the world?
Clearly not. And what happened in the last minute? Our boy Aguero scores a magnificent header. I mean, we said it the other day. Why is he not starting?
Yeah, absolutely.
And who put the ball into him? Messi.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have played 2 players up front with Messi as the attacking guy, and then 2 wing players, and then you have your defensive unit.
Yeah, I think a huge coaching blunder, but I want to really highlight a couple of the players that I think were amazing for France. Yes, Di Maria scored a great goal, but Messi was nowhere to be found, I'm sorry, and no other Argentinian player. Yeah, Aguero scored a great goal, but he needed to be in the game. But Mbappe, what pace. Pogba, unstoppable, great passing. Griezmann, the same. And a great goal by Pavard that overshadowed Di Maria's great goal. But
what a goal.
France I'm looking forward to the next matchup, which we'll talk about. But let's go into Spain and Russia, which went into penalties, and and we saw the home nation take out Spain.
So this is the important statistic you have to understand about Russia. Russia in 4 games more or less passed the ball as much as Spain did in that one game, which was 1,006 passes.
So they played their style.
And what was their style? Their style is basically an EPL style long ball merchants, get in your face type style. And again, that's what they did against Spain. And Spain didn't really do anything. I don't think they really tested Russia. They had a few chances, but nothing special.
I want to talk a little bit about that. Do you feel like a lot of these players that we're seeing, a lot of these teams, a lot of these stars, not performing because of a stressful long season? Could it be that? I honestly did not enjoy watching Spain at all. I have not, except the first game.
Yeah.
But I haven't enjoyed them.
Yeah, but it's who they are. Look, if you have in your mind that you've got to keep the ball, then you're playing keep the ball. You're not playing football. Football, you've got to take your opportunities. If you create a space, you've got to push the ball into that space and have your guys run onto it. It's called push and run, But how can you do 1,006 passes and score 1 goal and not threaten too much?
They had their chances. I think Spain had a chance at the very end, too little, too late, with Rodrigo going down the right side and almost created scored for himself or created a great chance and gave Spain an opportunity to score, but they didn't. Goes into penalties. Russia edges them out. But I think Russia played with more heart than Spain did.
That's what I mean. They are a physical team. They're not looking to play the ball around. They're like, let's get it to the forward guys and let them do their job. Let's be aggressive. Let's not waste our passes. They're a much more efficient team.
And then now we got them playing Croatia. Russia playing Croatia, and we saw Croatia going through by beating Denmark. Another game that went into penalties. I like Denmark. I really did. I was kind of rooting for Denmark during the game.
Well, you can root for whoever you want, but I was disappointed in Croatia's performance.
Absolutely.
You can't beat Argentina 3-0 and then come and play a team like Denmark and not hammer them. Modric didn't play well, and Eriksen didn't play well. Eriksen hardly ever got the ball. And it was more of a game of ping pong to a degree. I don't think the quality was there. This didn't look to me like a World Cup game.
Modric missed a penalty.
Yeah.
And they went into, I think the star for that game was Schmeichel, Kasper Schmeichel. And he's 32 years old. He's not very young. But now he's got interest from Chelsea, Roma. You got Roma, which has a top Brazilian goalie. And they're interested in Kasper.
The fact that Denmark
or Chelsea,
the fact that Denmark conceded 3 penalties in this World Cup campaign, which hasn't been done before apart from Greece in '94, I think, goes to show you that their defense really wasn't up to scratch.
Yeah.
And it would have been a travesty if they qualified.
And Croatia should have won this game easily. Maybe a 2-0, 2-1, but not had it go into penalties. So they're playing Russia next. And then we had Brazil-Mexico.
It was just a bridge too far for Mexico.
I've seen Mexico on the decline. I said it in the last show we had. Mexico played an amazing first match day 1 against Germany. And after that, they just looked like,
maybe their fitness levels weren't as good as they should have been.
And I think you mentioned that. We didn't see their fighting power or their style of urgent play in the last 10, 15 minutes when they were down 1-0.
Yeah, 1-0 is not a big deal.
I've literally seen Mexico play tougher against the United States than I saw them play against Brazil.
Well, don't forget, this is a sustained campaign. You don't have the luxury of resting when you want to rest. You've got games to play.
Yeah.
But that being said, if you look at Brazil's 2 goals, Brazil on the first goal had 4 players in a line, and every single defender for Mexico was to the right of them, which means that the Brazil was closer to the goal than they were. And the same for the second goal. Firmino, he slid that in, and there was no Mexican defenders to be found. I think they just got too tired.
I think Brazil just cruised into a win. It was that simple. I literally saw Brazil, cruising into a win. And we're just watching reports right now stating Cristiano Ronaldo might be joining Juventus from Real
Yeah,
Madrid.
I read about that the other day. I mean, Juventus, best team in Italy, most probably going to not lose the Serie A again because Italian Football League right now is pretty, nothing special.
Yeah.
Juve won again by 20 points.
Yeah. So, but anyways, Brazil cruising into the quarters. I think they played a very good, well-rounded, composed game. Belgium, Japan, really fast before we go into the second half here. What do you think about that game?
I got to tell you that Belgium's defense is suspect. For Japan to score 2 goals against them,
Absolutely.
and they had quite a few opportunities as well. Maybe that what you said was right, that they didn't play the last game, a majority of their senior players, so they're just maybe 5% off.
Well,
their
let's see
best.
if England adjusts as well, the same way Belgium did. And kudos to Roberto Martinez that did an amazing job with bringing in the super subs, which both scored and to win the game. Both scored to win the game.
Look,
and Fellaini and Chadley.
Yeah,
and they both.
the first 2 goals were headers.
Yeah.
And
And they
but
went on an
Tottenham-
aerial assault. They finally went to the aerial
Yeah,
assault.
because I told you, Japan's team is quite short.
But look, kudos to Japan. Japan played an amazing game.
They did. What a
great way to
3-2.
exit.
Yeah,
a great
yeah.
way. They were about this close to making it to the quarters, which would have been for the first time in Japan's history.